It's another day that ends in Y, or said another way, another day or batch of classified documents found in Joe Biden's possession. To celebrate the 2-year non-celebratory feat of staying alive and not being impeached, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris made a video. Let me explain. I guess it's been 2 years since Joe Biden and Kamala Harris took an oath that they quickly forgot about, and so here we are now. This is a president who has no regrets when it comes to pretty much anything, especially classified documents now being found everywhere and dating back to when he was in the Senate, so about 342 years ago.
Look, as we found a handful of documents were filed in the wrong place. We immediately turned them over to the archives and the Justice Department. We're fully cooperating, looking forward to getting this resolved quickly. I think you're going to find there's nothing there. I have no regrets. I'm following what the lawyers have told me they want me to do. It's exactly what we're doing. There's no there. Thank you. All right.
There really is no there if we're talking about between Joe's ears, but there is the very real there classified documents located there with actual locations growing by the day. Now, because Joe is president of the United States, he always listens to his daycare providers, who may on that Californication trip have included Governor Gavin Newsom, as you just saw at the end. This type of shenanigans is part and parcel with the Biden administration. So it makes perfect sense that instead of running the country, they decided to put out self-congratulatory nonsense about their first 2 years in office. And I'm breaking down the entire 2-minute video because apparently that's all Joe could be awake for. Before we even start, let me know in the comments your grade for the Biden administration in the first 2 years. And then share this video so your friends can give their grades too. Now, let's go.
All right.
Okay.
Hey, team.
Hi, guys.
How are you? What do you think? I think we're off to a pretty good start.
I think we're off to a great start.
Is he saying good start to the fact that he walked into the room and sat down? Because I know he's not talking about his administration. That would be a fact check completely false. Because being in office for 2 years is not a start. You are halfway through the term. Stop pretending this is 2 weeks into the administration.
Hard to believe it's 2 years, huh?
Well, just remember where we started and all that was happening in our country. And I think the thing that has motivated us is the resilience, the determination of the American people.
Yeah, they stuck with us. I mean,
Oh, do you want to go down that path? You want to talk about how the American people got stuck with you? As in with the quadruple jab or with some shady election tactics? Which one? Biden came into office during COVID when a get out of it plan was set into motion, so vaccines that he likes to take all the credit for, and which may be rather ineffective anyway, were already in process. Then he decided that we must lock everyone down for the next school year and then play the pivot game of blaming everyone else for keeping the schools closed. But I digress. Let's try to not vomit and get through this thing.
I wish people could see what I see sometimes.
And what would that be? Because it's certainly not this, the border between the United States and Mexico. The border that 2.38 million times saw migrants pushing to get in, just in 1 year's time from dated September 2022. That's a record that was broke from the previous year, which was 1.66 million times. Oh, but that didn't count the record number of 38 people on the terror watch list who have been stopped in the past few months. And that's nothing to say about the 379 million doses of fentanyl that came into the country in 2022, which is easily enough to kill every single American, and I guess at least a portion of the illegal immigrants who aren't counted in the census. Because as we recently learned, Border Patrol has confirmed that 1.2 million migrants just got away during Biden's time. Oops!
I've been in the Oval Office with you when the cameras are there and mostly when the cameras are not.
Yeah, there's a very good reason for that.
And I inhaled. I did inhale.
I wonder if she was stoned for this fake meet and greet with Joe.
And what you have singularly done based on who you are, and I mean this in all sincerity, to bring together nations, allies in the world, and you bring folks together in a bipartisan way, uniquely.
Well, you're very
You've been an
gracious.
incredible leader these last 2 years.
That confirms it. Yes, she was stoned.
I really think, as you've heard me say, foreign leaders, there's never been a good bet to bet against America.
Yeah.
We created almost 11 million jobs, 750,000
Right.
manufacturing jobs.
Think about that, and on top of capping the cost of insulin at $35 a month, what we've done, we have created more small businesses in the last 2-year span than any 2-year span in history.
I feel good.
Of course he feels good. His handlers injected a whole lot of something so he could appear upright for this gross, self-massaging, narcissistic,
Cheap, lying, no good, rotten, four-flushing, low-life, snake-licking, dirt-eating, inbred, overstuffed, ignorant, blood-sucking, dog-kissing, brainless, hopeless, heartless, fat, bug-eyed, stiff-legged, spotty-lipped, worm-headed sack of
media ploy that was. Hallelujah, where's the Tylenol? And that question is actually in reference to literally, where is the Tylenol? Because we are in a shortage for our children to have access to medicine. It's only January, and this started back in December. You know, like one of the main months for when kids get sick. But don't blame Biden's team for anything. It's not their fault.
I have no intention of letting the Republicans wreck our economy, nor does anybody around this table, in my view.
It's never Biden's fault. He's only done good things for the economy, like with gas prices. Which brings us to,
I am President of the United States of America, and the buck stops with me.
does the buck really stop with him? Because remember when gas was $2.39? That was the week Joe and the gang took office. Since then, it's been a roller coaster that mostly just had one giant incline up into the $5 to $6 range, and then a very sad, slow decline. And now we're still about $1 higher than we were. But hey, back when Biden came into the office, the federal debt was at $27.6 trillion, and now it's $31.38 trillion. And don't worry, as it is just at, the ceiling, but we break through ceilings in the US of A. I get that those are just phony baloney numbers that none of us can relate, so let's get down to the base of it. How much does, a dozen of eggs cost? Because that'll be a real indicator for how an economy is doing for the average household. Oh, right. Now, what I'm about to show you, I believe, perfectly sums up our present situation.
Who can take your money?
Who can take your money?
With a twinkle in their eye.
A twinkle in their eye.
Take it all away and give it to some other guy. The government.
The government.
The government can.
The government can.
If you aren't laughing, then you are certainly crying in a corner and need to seek some professional help. But in an effort to not send the rest of us to that state of mind, I'm going to spare you from the remaining 42 seconds of the Biden-Harris video. I think we've both had enough of the lies. Okay, fine. Just one more lie to end the day.
We continue to learn about more documents being found and discovered at his home, including now some that go back decades to his time in the Senate. So why should the American people believe that this president takes classified material seriously and the handling of it?
Look, the American people heard from the president directly on this when he was asked by your colleagues at least twice now about how he sees this process. And he was very clear with the response of what we're currently seeing. And he says, I take this very seriously. He said, I didn't know that the documents were there. And look, I think as it relates to the American people and the president standing with the American people, it is going to be up to them to decide how they see this president.
Look, I think I just laid out a pretty accurate picture of how they see this president. So here's the truth. The Biden administration began its tenure poorly and has continued to be consistent in that ever since. They don't give a bleepity bleep about you, but I hope you do for yourself and others. And I sincerely hope that you'll continue giving the top 3 Fs: faith, family, and friends. And then, if you could, please share this monstrosity of a video that is still leaps and bounds ahead of what the Biden administration has done thus far. Until next time, stay healthy, America.